Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So guess who watched the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12? This girl right here, and as soon as I finished watching it, I was like, I am just dying to beat my face like that. So I know Natural is having a moment right now, but I am not having that natural moment today. We're just gonna go full drag, full glam, and we're gonna get right into it right after my special announcement. I have been doing daily giveaways on my Instagram stories, and this is just my way of giving back to my community because I know that this is a hard time for all of us. I'm doing all of these makeup tutorials, but a lot of us don't know what's gonna happen after this. There's probably gonna be an economic crisis, so I don't want you guys to worry about buying products or money in general. So what I'm doing is giving away makeup and gift cards every single day on my Instagram stories. So if you want to enter to win some of my favorite products or gift cards depending on the day, go ahead and head over to my Instagram, which is @LisaOpie, and check out my stories because that's where I announce the winners and the new prizes. And I do this around 4 o'clock every single day. Okay, so now that that's over with, let's go ahead and get into this tutorial, and don't get scared, I am a different person without makeup on. So I have microblading, and to cover it up to make my brows look lighter and more feminine, I'm just gonna go over it with Elmer's glue, and once it dries, I'm gonna set it with some setting powder. And then I'm gonna use concealer over that setting powder to create a totally blank canvas for me to draw on my brows. I'm just going to push everything in with a beauty blender to make sure that I have an even base, and as you can tell, my microblading is really persistent and it's still showing through. So now I'm going to go ahead and run some setting powder over it one more time to mattify it and create like a grip for the eyebrows that I'm about to draw on. This might seem super weird, but I'm using my contour stick, which is actually a cream foundation from Tom Ford in the shade 11 Dusk, and an angled brow brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing on my brows. I'm kind of using that microblading as a guideline, but towards the end when I get to the tail of the brow, I'm actually lifting it up a little bit higher so that I do have like a more lifted look and more space for my eyeshadow. I'm just going over it one more time to set everything and make sure that my eyeshadow base is super dry because we're going into the powders. So today I'm going to use the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette to start with. And my transition color is the shade Cake Mix, and I'm just putting it broadly over my crease, and then once most of the pigment is off of the brush, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up into my brows. I'm using the color Cherry Soda, which is a really nice deep red color, and I'm just going to put this tighter in on my crease, and then once again, when the pigment is off of the brush, I'm going to go ahead and start blending that color out into my brows. If people like to use concealer to cut their crease, I like to use foundation because it does wear a little bit lighter, and I'm using a flat brush to go ahead and cut my crease and carve everything out. And I kind of stop at the outer corner, I just let it taper out, and to make it look more blended, I just tap everything with a beauty blender so that there are no harsh lines. For the shimmer, I'm going into the Morphe and Jeffree Star palette with the color Welcome. And as you can see, since the foundation is still wet, it really makes that shimmer stick and look super pigmented on my lids. I'm using a teeny tiny smudger brush to use the black color on the inner and outer corners of my lids. And this kind of creates like a halo spotlight effect and also makes my eyes look bigger. I'm giving myself a messy wing with a lot of pigment so I can blend it out in a second. I'm using a teeny tiny blending brush to go ahead and drench my brush with the color Calabasas, and I'm blending through all of that black on the inner and outer corners to make sure that everything looks blended. And then I'm going to go over it with that flat shadow brush with the color Welcome one more time to just pull everything together. We hate fallout, so I'm just going to wipe it all off with my favorite Garnier Micellar Makeup Remover wipe. And now we're going to move over to skin. So I'm going to use the Drunk Elephant C Firma serum to prime and then spray over all of that with my Payot Broom Eclat, which is my favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and start highlighting the important parts, which is pretty much under my eyes, with my Naked concealer, and I'm pushing it in with the beauty blender to kind of blend it out, leaving a lot of product concentrated under my eyes because I don't want to lose it when I blend it out. So now I'm going over the outlines with the shade W5 from the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. The foundation brush I'm using is a Shayna B Miami, and I'm pretty much putting it all over my face. We're going to go a little bit darker in a second, but this is going to be kind of like the mid-tone for my face. Now I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Foundation in the shade W7, which is very warm and a lot darker than my skin tone, but right now I'm just trying to bring myself back to life since I look like a corpse. And I'm pulling it down all through my neck. If you're doing this look for an event or anything, you do want to make sure that any skin that is exposed matches as well. Once I get to my face though, I'm just going to use that color on the parts that I want to contour, so under my cheekbones, my forehead, and my jawline. Cream contouring, I'm using the Tom Ford foundation stick in the shade 11 Dusk, which is the same one that we used on my eyebrows. And I'm just kind of concentrating it on my forehead, my cheekbones, under my lip because it does make it look fuller, and then I'm going over that area that we did on my neck with it as well, and then I'm flicking it out along my jawline. I noticed that that gives it a more natural look. Now I'm going over everything with my foundation brush, which is still a little bit wet from using it before, and this kind of makes it super easy to blend. As you can tell, it kind of just does what it's supposed to do and makes everything look flawless and put together. Now I'm using a small angled brush to contour my nose. It's very important to keep the lines straight, and then once you're ready, go ahead and blend it out using your fingers, a beauty blender, or a brush, or whatever it takes to get that nose looking blended and a part of your face. So now that we're done with all the cream and liquid stuff, we're going to go ahead and bake under our eyes, and I'm taking the color Tongue Pop from the Blood Sugar palette, and I'm going to go ahead and smudge it under my lower lash line, and then I'm going to take the color Cherry Soda with a smaller brush, and I'm going to go ahead and concentrate that a little bit tighter up on my lower lash line. With my pencil brush, I'm using the color Intravenous, which is the darkest brown color, to just like darken the outer corners of my eyes and then flick it out into the inner corners of my eyes. I do want most of it to be concentrated on the outside though. And the final step to make my eyes look really dramatic is that black color. I'm just going to go ahead and smoke it out on the outer corners of my eyes only, on both of the bottom and the top, to make it look really wide open and round. So now I'm just going to brush off that bake, and you can see that the fallout just brushes right off with that bake. And then I'm going to rebake the areas of my face that I want to highlight, so that when I contour, nothing gets on those highlighted areas. Contour, I am using a Ofra bronzer that I got in my Ipsy with a large Morphe fan brush. And you can see that it kind of just hugs the curves of my face, and everything just goes where it's supposed to go. And the bronzer is not going near the areas that I want highlighted because we baked it. After brushing off that bake off my face for the last time, I'm using my foundation brush one more time. I'm not adding anything to it, it's just still damp from earlier, and I'm smoothing out all of the rough edges on my face to pull everything together and make it look like I was born with it, LOL. I'm using the Bare Minerals contour palette. I'm using that lightest shade, it's like a peachy color, to just go over my under eye area one more time because I do have a little bit of darkness that's bothering me. And then I'm taking that medium bronze shade and I'm going to go over my nose contour with it because I feel like I kind of lost it with all of that baking, and I'm pulling it all together by just feathering it through my eyeshadow. I'm using an Ofra highlighter to go over my cheekbones, the middle of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. On my lips, I'm mixing the colors Bow and Arrow from Kat Von D and Mannequin. I'm putting Bow and Arrow only on the outer corners of my lips for the top, and then for the bottom, I am pulling it through only the bottom part of my bottom lip and keeping the middle ready to be highlighted with the Jeffree Star Mannequin. So now I'm going over the middle part of my lips with the Mannequin shade from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and I'm going to rub my lips together to blend it all together. I'm going to put on blush. This is the Bare Minerals Peachy Keen, just between the highlighter and the bronzer. And now we're going to go into lashes. Today I'm wearing the Lisa lashes in the style Taurus. You can use code LADYCODE for 20% off of your first purchase. And you can see the before and after right now that the lashes really make the biggest difference, and they really do pull the whole look together. So I'm just going to go ahead and set everything with the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. Don't be scared, just drench your face with it, and then I'm going to use a beauty blender to tap that into my skin so that it looks like skin again. And that's it. Alright, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up because that helps me out a lot on YouTube. And don't forget to enter my daily giveaways on Instagram. One of the first steps is to subscribe, so you can go ahead and get that over with right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.